All right. Lights on. Oh, it's so bright. That's better. All right. All right. So, hi everyone. It's been a week. We're back with more GBM fun. So, as a lot of people pointed out, this week's event suit's another fucking OG suit. This time it was the entry grade. That was it. The entry grade OG. So, anyways, as normal, we're going to look at the welfare, stuff in the event shop, Gacha pool, and then Twitter and alterations. So, let's get going here. Yeah, sorry, I'm just eating popcorn. I'm got a real snack attack. Check the Haro chip shop. They got special sales. I'm not surprised. Yeah. Anyways, RX-78 to Gundam entry grade full equip. Yeah. Head-mounted Vulcan, right? Complete waste. Such a waste, man. Stat-wise, 3-1. Okay. So, statistically, it's a bit in the higher side for welfares, running past 3k for its primary stat. The EX skill's a complete wash. And the word tags, thematic, Gundam type, really good tertiary. You can use it for a lot of stuff. 4 base, much more limited scope. I still don't like the 4 line of tags. So, more special than their usual sales. I'll take a look, I guess. Can't hurt me. Alright, torso. With speed attribute, EX skill piercing boosted. Alright, really easy to activate speed. EX skill piercing is pretty much just boils down to how much of your EX skill is going to ignore the enemy defense and resistances. And this is over a quarter. It's pretty solid. Pretty damn solid. So, alright. Gundam type 4 base again. Statistically, welfare torso. So we're looking at about 1050, 1100 on both melee and shot, which is really interesting actually. So in the first place, we normally would never see 4-star torsos break 1k. I guess that's different after the Super Sokai Festival happened. Our power creep has kind of leveled that out to 1200's the norm. But seeing this torso actually pushing those numbers being a welfare, it's pretty damn nice. So, good job stat-wise. The one good word tag tertiary. The trait, not my favorite in the world, you know, being able to pierce the enemy's resistances and defense. But all things considered, you know, it's better than a gut skill, or increase damage by 32, or heal 10 armor. So, trade-offs. Hey, Alan. Arms. Alright, we got a Shoddy X on here. Dual Cascade. Pretty much exactly like the OG, it looks like. This one you just summon a couple of Zukas and start spraying. B plus Pierce D power. It's going to hit like a wet noodle. There's no point even considering it. Statistically, alright, this one's a little on the lower end. We're looking at about 900-ish or so shot attack. And we're going to be running about, 3100 or so melee. So it's going to be very low in the shot spectrum, and for a melee suit, or melee part, because that's what arms primarily are, it's actually not terrible. It runs kind of parallel with the higher end launch 4-star arms that we had available. Nothing amazing, nothing bad, kind of in that middle ground of, you know, it's better than most welfares, but... Alright, word tag, still workable. Legs. While Gundam type, EX skill power boosted by 30%. It's rare to find a welfare part that actually gives the full 30% mod. This is typically something, the 30%, you would see on a Sokai, or even the higher end 4-star selectables. This, on a welfare, is actually like top notch. So 10 out of 10. Huge value in these legs just for that trait alone. Especially Gundam type, it's a flexible word tag. Works for a lot of different traits. So statistically, we're more or less looking at the same as the torso. Cool stuff. Gundam type, we get rid of the 4 base and we get Federation. That is a melee and shot attack boost, so that is another really nice tertiary to get. Helps everything. Honestly, I look at these legs, I see a winner. So far, this is the best part of the entire suit. For legs, really high stat spread. It has a really nice part trait, something I'd expect from a Sokai head or something like that. You know, increase your EX skill power by 30%. Bonkers. And has 2 really good tertiary word tags as well. Aces. Backpack. Saber Boomerang, D Pierce, B Power. Slash with your saber, then hurl it. We literally saw this last week. It's a very mediocre animation set. Not only, like, it's a half yeet. Half of the damage of the EX skills in the throw. Half of it's in the swings prior. So, honestly, it's not really that worth it over a normal yeet. But if you don't have access to one, which is going to be relatively difficult, it's a stand-in at best, but you're going to be replacing this super quick. Stats, the same as the legs, which is neat. Again, backpacks and legs always have the lowest stat spread of the entire frame. So seeing this with the same offensive stats as the torso, good stuff. Gundam type Federation again, cool. The big downside to this, the EX skill. Everything else is, for a welfare, pretty damn good. And let's get into the weapons, as this is the full equip. It comes with its full equipment set. Who'da thunk it? Alright. Gundam Hammer. Wow, lots of zeros. Melee attack is what we'd actually expect from a welfare. Typically it's low 3Ks, so cool. We lose our Federation tag and get 4 base back, which is kind of a pain. Alright, a Lance, or Javelin. Beam Javelin, B plus power, D pierce. Attack by throwing it. This looks like a yeet, which is really cool. We're getting a welfare weapon yeet with B plus power. That's it's pretty solid, actually, all things considered. Nice. Statistically, nothing to write home about. It's a welfare weapon. Gundam type 4 base. Workable. It'd be neat if the 30 bonus was standard for the weekly event suits, but then that just means that all the suits that we've kind of got up to this point will be eclipsed by welfares. And like, it's nice for accessibility for new players, but for the older players, this is kind of like a slap in the face if that's the way they go about it. Because it's pretty much them saying, yeah, if you want to stay competitive, you need to roll the new stuff because their base is 40% now, so you're going to be 10% behind the rest of your game. Unless you roll, which is kind of not bueno. We have a fair number of alterations. So, I don't know if you guys can tell, because my camera, not the highest well, it's high resolution, but I shrunk it a lot. So, let's try to navigate this space. There we go. This here is a new fan I bought. Heats the entire room. You can't see it. I wish you guys could. But a little to the side of that, towards the cabinet, is a tall bottle of whiskey that was just bought today. I'm set for drinks. I don't want to go through the whole bottle, though. So hopefully there's only so many alterations. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, won't we? Anyways, back to what we're looking at. The dual blades, or dual beam sabers, I guess. When armor is 60% or more, melee damage boosted 35. Flat number, worthless, except for that one single fight. But, like, come on. Come on. Stats, what you'd expect from a welfare. Oh, we get the Federation tag back. Nice. Bazooka. When in arena, shooting power boost by 30%. Alright, well, it has the obvious caveat of you can only use it in arena, but the 30 power shooting percent boost, like, that's good, man. That's a good number. Honestly, if you have like an arena specific suit and you need it, here you go, man. Like, it's free. It's free real estate. The numbers are what you expect from a welfare Gundam Type 4 base, so it loses the Federation tag, but is what it is. And we get last shooting? No. We get charge shot. Ready, target, and fire a powerful beam. B power, D pierce. Low cooldown. Alright, Gundam Type Federation again. Cool. An average stat spread for a welfare. Alright. That actually doesn't sound like a bad EX, all things considered. So, like, cool stuff. So, hands down, the legs of this thing, dope. I would totally get the legs on this. I think this is the first time in a while I've actually, like, recommended a welfare part. So, good on you, Grandpa. Good on you. A different shirt. I know, it's... You can't see it. My laundry just finished earlier. All my shirts are in there. Alright. So, let's take a look here. What are our plugins? Melee Beam Acid. God, the acid plugins are just terrible. Okay, and what's in our B? Awakening ships, Protag, Xeon, mid-range, 4 space, and 4 computers. Cool. Neat little spread. Something tells me we're probably going to want a lot of those Protags coming up. Alright, what are our fragments this week? We got the Reganized Julia, Gold Frame. Is this the Amatsu Mina or just the Gold? This should be the Amatsu Mina because we got the normal Amatsu before. Nope. Gold Frame Amatsu. Cool. And Lightning. I remember Lightning, for a selectable suit, had some decent numbers on it. Of course, that was before the Super Sokai. It's quite a while ago the Lightning came out, so things have probably changed by now. Alright. So, with that done, let's take a look at Neo Roanoke. Or, I guess, Mula Flaga. Oh, spoiler alert. So, I found it really interesting that they added him, because this is the, this is still too bright. Because this is the Orb Arc, Mula Flaga. So, it's so weird, timing-wise, because when he hops into the Akatsuki, he's still Neo Roanoke, but he's getting some of his memories back as Mu. And then, like, he transitions into Mula Flaga. So this must be that, like, middle ground space where he's Neo, almost Mu. Because there was a very small window where he was in the Akatsuki. Yeah, the helmet's not accurate, because he didn't get the helmet until after he went back to Mu. It's interesting. That's how I'd put this pilot canonically. Interesting out of 10. Now, what I find interesting as well, he actually is one of the very few build project pilots that has both a shooter and a melee license. That's neat. So he's an outfighter and a long shooter. It'd be really neat to get the Mu Akatsuki, actually. Because we got the Kigali one. Getting the Mu one would be really neat as well. Could always use more Akatsukis, right? Hey, maybe that's the Christmas event this time, because I'm pretty sure that was either the Christmas or the anniversary event was the Akatsuki originally. So, anyways, let's look at your stats here. First, that trait's really got my pickle tickled. After 10 seconds passed, EX skill power boosted by 30%. That's an interesting trait, actually. Alright. Alright. So, not as completely ridiculously busted as we've seen other build projects. But respectable. So the first trait here, pre-alteration, pretty okay. Yeah, that's the problem, right? If you're trying to use him in like super high-end combat in arena and stuff, he's not going to be able to do anything because those are finished in seconds. But for the average player, 10 seconds is still workable. Numerically, he's got very little in the defensive values. Pretty much all of his offensive numbers are raw. That's going to cause a little bit of problems with the marks. Yeah. So he'll have really high raw offensive values, but his defensive values are going to be really low. The numbers are good though. They're not the best. They're pretty good. Commander, high mobility tags. Commander is top tier for shot. High mobility is a workable tag. Lots of stuff it can activate. Alright. I'm feeling it. Is he worth it though as a build project? If you like Gundam Seed, Destiny, you like Mula Flaga, maybe you're one of those chaotic neutrals that like Neo Roanoke, who knows? He's okay. He's not the worst build project pilot. He's not the best build project pilot. But he has a very balanced stat pool that hits at the very, very high brackets of what we have available. So he's unique in that sense. And because he can use both a melee and a shot job license, he is able to leverage that. Yeah, I was totally expecting a guts on this guy to be canonically accurate. You know? Like 100% chance to revive with, 20% armor twice or something, be unique. But, interesting. Interesting build project pilot. Alright. Let's roll on over to the Gacha. Everyone's favorite. There's a really good popcorn. There's like some President's Choice unpopped purple kernel stuff. So good. Yeah, if he had like anything extremely unique, that'd be cool. His dual job license is neat. His high raw stat numbers are neat. But as he doesn't carry over a lot of defensive values at all, and because his trait activates after 10 seconds, it's kind of, Alright, so we have the Command Quanta and the Gundam Barbatos. So we're going to take a look at the Command Quanta first, and we'll finish off on the other guy. Alright, it's so good, holy crap. So, this is actually unsalted and unsweetened. It's literally just the kernels. What I did was I put a small layer of olive oil at the bottom, threw the kernels in, and let them pop with that. And then when they were done, I took them out and just added a small sprinkle of salt across the whole thing. It's pretty good, honestly. A little tang of salt. But the kernels themselves are really good. Oh, I can't stop. It's so good. Oh my god. Alright. Anyways. When attacking and physical, EX skill power boosted by 30%. So, we have a ton of physical options available in this game for shot and for melee. The EX skill power boost for that, nice. Unfortunately, obviously, it restricts it to only one type, physical or beam, but it's a nice little boost there if that's what you primarily use, and you don't have anything better to throw at it. So, stat-wise, okay, 5400 shot attack, cool beans, that's pretty good. Gundam type, high firepower, definitely really nice tertiaries. It even has like 1500 melee, which is nice for a head. Cool. Yeah, it's got the numbers. Nice. Torso. Assault burst. Raise your speed and raise your shot attack. Huh. Okay, that's interesting. So typically, when we see an awakening on a suit, the activation time is or the effect time, I guess, is the way that this lays it out, is typically like 50 seconds or relatively close to the natural cooldown of it. This one has a 37-second effect time, even though the cooldown is 60. Interesting. The shot attack boost is healthy at 39%. That is the, fourth highest available boost. The higher boosts are typically locked behind alterations of, like, the Super Sokai stuff. 59, 54, and then 49 is actually what we see most of the time on Sokai suits. And then 39% is typically pre-alter or post-alteration for suits that have a bunch of abilities on their awakening, ZX skills, whatever. So this is good numbers to see pre-alteration. Good stuff. Gundam type, high firepower, really nice tertiaries. Statistically, we're seeing some really dope numbers here. So we're looking at what? That's 6? Yeah. So like 2500, 2600 shot attack on the torso, coupled with the almost 2000 melee attack. This is a jacked chest, man. Absolutely nice. Have to bring the vacuum out later, apparently. I can't keep these kernels where they need to go. Statistically, awesome. High spread across the entire board. Lots of carryover. Lots of value in this part. The EX skill, primarily for shot, obviously. But it's got some really good numbers behind it. I'm looking forward to seeing it post-alteration. And the word tags, definitely workable. Good tertiary selection. Good stuff. Arms. Now, they didn't give up on the Super Sokai name. So the Super Sokais were very specifically for the anniversary area, like those suits. And it was kind of a way for them, I guess, to kind of introduce the next generation of gacha bait they're going to throw at us. So yeah, I put lemon pepper on my popcorn. Ooh. That's a really good idea, actually. I should probably try to get a little more adventurous with the popcorn. I'll take a look in the spices drawer after the stream. See what I can find. Anyways, arms. My power attribute, shooting power boosted by 30%. Alright, super easy to get the power attribute. Shooting power boost is always nice as well. Solid. That's actually what made the Buster so goddamn good. Is that all of its traits, all the good traits, were, if your power, get a fat boost out of it. So, yeah. It works. You can actually pair this with some of the Buster parts for real shenanigans. Gundam type, high firepower. Powerful tertiary selection there. No complaints. Statistically, like, I find it weird because so far this has been kind of, oh yeah, I'm a shot suit, man. Look at all my shot. And now, all of a sudden, we have this suit that comes out of nowhere, the arms, and go, oh yeah, I have 5,400 melee attack. Oh, and also 2,700 shot. Like, what? That's insane. All it comes down to. It's got some really nice traits. It's got some really nice stats. It's got really workable tags. Like, this is a solid part. So weird. So weird. Alright, let's take a look at these silly colored legs. Job gauge increased down 10%, enemy EX power reduced by 30%. Alright, so I don't like the job gauge still. I don't like the changes they made to it. I don't think it's still really that useful. So having the increase down by 10% to me does nothing. It means nothing to me. It's a freebie. The enemy EX skill power reduction, though, will only affect the suit that this part is equipped onto, meaning if you put this onto its secondary suit, something in arena, it's only going to affect the suit that you're controlling, or rather, the suit that it's on, is the way to say it. So, limited use. I used to think that this affected all suits, and it was really nice when I thought that, but it does not. Big sad. Big sad. Anyways, statistically, again, remember, legs and the backpack tend to have the lowest stat distributions. Alright. So, we're looking at about 2k melee attack or so, which is pretty high for a pair of legs. And as for shot attack, we're looking at like 2,400 or so, around there. Good numbers. Good numbers, absolutely. Heavy Gundam type, and we get heavy armor as our tertiary. Interesting. Shot attack and shot defense boost. Alright. So pretty much just the trait on this is not really that good. Cool beans. Backpack. Ooh, those stats though. So we're looking at about 2,100 melee attack and about 2,400 shot on the backpack. Really nice. Bombardment. B plus power, D pierce. That's an EX skill if I've ever seen it. Low cooldown. Alright, I want to see the animation on this. I want to see what we're working with, but cool stuff. Has the potential to be really nice. But do keep in mind, just because an EX skill has B plus as a power, doesn't actually mean that it'll do the same damage as B plus. It's very rare, but there are a few cases where B plus power EX skills hit very weak. So hopefully this isn't one of them. Alright. Gundam type heavy armor. Nice workables. The sword. Well, Ace exclusive, enemy melee power reduced. I've already talked about that, the trait. Gundam type Ace exclusive. Alright. Alright. Now, as there's no melee defense or shot defense at all on this, what you see is what you get. It does have a slightly higher than average stat distribution. We normally see 56, 5,700. It goes up to 58. But that's to offset the fact it has 0 defense that'll carry over with change gears. It's okay. You know, good numbers. I think the trait is pretty much a write-off. The word tags, really good depending on your build. If you don't need a shot tag, the Ace exclusive is practically worthless. And Gundam type, workable tertiary. Combat knife. While heavy armor, EX skill power boosts by 30%. Heavy armor. Okay. It's not the most common word tag in the game. It's one of the ones that we have a good selection of, but not a good selection like the really high-end parts. So that's okay. The EX skill power boost is nice. I just don't know if it's worth the trade-off of getting heavy armor active, because heavy armor only activates a few traits. So this one's good though. In a vacuum, it's good. So stats on this are the same as the previous weapon. Gundam type heavy armor instead of ace exclusive. Alright. Combat knives are pretty okay. The heavy machine gun. That is the next one, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. Heavy machine gun. Melee damage raised 20%. Shooting power boost by 40%. That is nutso. So, you're going to take 20% more melee damage, but in return, your shooting power is boosted by 40%. That is the highest available mod right now. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, that raw shot attack breaking 6k. That's real good. Unfortunately, it has no defensive stats to carry over anything extra, so it is another case of what you see is what you get. Gundam type ace exclusive. Honestly, this SMG is really, really good. All things considered. It's got the numbers. It has a really good trait. The word tags, great for a shot machine. Nice. Good machine gun. And the arm shield. Shield Vulcan. D Pierce B plus power. 11 magazine. I'll have to see the animation for that. If it's a normal Vulcan spray, that's going to be kind of gimped. But if it's more like a machine turret kind of Vulcan, might be okay. I don't think that's the highest shot damage, but it definitely approaches it. It's the highest raw by far, like hands down, but after change gears have taken effect, I don't think it's the best. Alright, so the arm shield, no melee attack. Carryover gives us around 600 or so. Token, not bad. As for shot, okay. So we're looking at about 2,400 or so shot attack on the shield. Good stuff. Good defensive values. Some offensive in there as well. Gundam type, high firepower. Both very nice tertiary tags. All that's left is to look at the EX skill. Hopefully it's not garbage. On paper, it looks good, but paper can be misleading. Okay. The Jagged Arch has some crazy numbers on its gun. Absolutely crazy numbers. Alright. Gundam Barbatos Taurus. Yeah, this guy. Nachos. So. Oh, that head looks just so good. Aesthetically, I love this suit. Oh. I think it's got a really good silhouette to it. And if I wasn't saving for, like, Christmas shenanigans, I probably would roll for it. But unfortunately, I'm saving for Christmas shenanigans. Alright. Alive and Yana. We get a 20% speed boost, 39% melee boost, and resist flinching. Alright. Cool stuff. High mobility, close combat. Nice tertiaries. And statistically. So, it has a hefty amount of melee attack. It's sitting at around 2,300 or so melee. That is good. It's not the best we've had, but it's good. Shot-wise, it's a little lower on the rung. It sits at about 2,700 or so. For a melee-centric machine, to be expected. So statistically, it's alright. EX skill, good. Tags, workable tertiaries. Torso. When attacking with physical, melee power boosted by 30%. Alright, lots of good physical EX available. Yeah. And unlike the 00 Quanta, Command Quanta, this one boosts melee instead of shooting. Solid stuff. Alright. High mobility, close combat. It's interesting looking at the suit, because, like, the fact that they released a teaser video for this suit shows that they really, really hoped that it would do well. And aesthetically, it's cool. It's different than the other suits we've kind of had up to this point, as it's the first quadruped. True quadruped, I should say, because we have, like, the tanks and stuff, which you could argue are, you know, more than bipedal. Yeah. Oh! Mana Fusion. Roll. I don't have a choice now that you've put money in, bud. Why have you done this? Wait, hold on a second. It wasn't mana, it was gold. What's going on? Why is my feed delayed as shite? You can see what I mean. As soon as I point out it was delayed as shite, came up. That is so brutal. Because I saw the bubble pop up, you know, you were donated, and I was like, aight, so I checked the feed really quick, and it's like, it was Mana Fusion. I was like, alright, sure. I'm not going to question it. And I took another look at it, and I realized it hadn't updated. I was like, what the fuck? Good to know, though. So when I see a donation pop up, it takes like 15 seconds to buffer through. Yeah, ancient feed, actually. And yeah, gold, I will roll. I'll roll on the Barbatos Taurus if that's what you want me to roll on. I'll suffer. Anyways. Where was I going with this? Right. It's unique in that it's the first true quadruped that we've had. But, like, I don't know, man. It doesn't have overwhelming stats or overwhelming EX skills or traits that made me look at it and kind of go like, you know, shit, we need this. So, like, I just find it interesting, you know? I was expecting them to really hype the crap out of this so that people want it in-game. But it looks like they're kind of letting it stand on its own merits. And it's like, we're not going to make this busted as shit. We're just going to make it pretty good. And if you want it, you want it. So, yeah. Respect. It doesn't have the bow weapon. Boo-hoo. Anyways, stat-wise on the torso, we're looking at about, what, 2,500 melee attack. Really, really good for a torso. As for shot, like 1,500. Good. Torso's good stat-wise. Good stuff. Yeah, Alex, I am going to be checking, but I want to get everything else done first. You know? I kind of have a order of sorts to these things. Alright, let's check out the arms. Weapon reload speed down 20%, EX skill power boosted by 40. So this means that your primary ranged weapon will have its reload speed reduced by 20%. Honestly, most of them recharge within seconds. This isn't going to really do much. And you get an EX skill power boost of 40% for that trade-off. I would do that trade every day of the week. High mobility, close combat word tags. Alright. Numbers. Ooh, we're going to see a lot of melee on this. So it has base 4,800 before marks, but its melee defense is stupidly high, almost at 3k. We're looking at like 5,700 melee attack on these arms before marks. That's ridiculous. Like, that is straight ridiculous. This guy benches, man. That's all I can say. Those are some jacked arms. Imagine telling a streamer what to do. Well, you know, it's not that I'm against listening to you guys. It's just I have a flow I like to do for the stream. But once I hit the end of the video or the stream, like once I've done everything and covered everything I needed to, man, I don't care. That's a free for all at that point. But leading up to that, it's kind of like I like keeping things in order. All right, legs. Blade charge, B plus power, D pierce. Execute charge attack. I'm gonna have to see the animation on this. I assume it's a unique animation for the Barbatos Taurus. On paper, it doesn't look too bad. As its charge, I hope there's a little bit of homing involved. Because if it has even the tiniest amount of homing, this will be a pretty good skill. If it's just a straightforward dash from the time you execute it, I can already see the abominations people are going to make with this. Because you can have the Barbatos Taurus legs. You can have the, like, the Haro Ball body. Actually, no, the body and the head are integrated. I was thinking, like, the cannon head. And you just have, like, some ridiculous torso. You know, just have, like, Frankenstein's friggin' beast, you know? A lot of things you can do. Anyways. Interesting on paper. Statistically, we're looking at about 2,600 melee attack, which is really high for a pair of legs, like really high for a pair of legs. And we have a decent amount of shot attack on this. We're looking at like 1,300 or so, which isn't bad. Obviously not amazing, but for legs that are for a melee machine, it's pretty good. High mobility, high firepower, good tertiaries. Backpack. While high mobility, melee power boosted by 30%. Alright. High mobility. Really easy to get. Activates a ton of other traits as well if you have the right parts. Just add another one to the feather in its cap. Sure. It's got like, what, 2,800 melee attack or so? Solid. Alright, yeah. No, 2,700 melee or so. Shot, we're looking at like 1,300 again. Yeah, no. Backpack is solid stuff too. Alright. The sword. A pitch black katana. It's more like a gray when it's at the right light angle. When attacking the physical, melee power boosted by 30%. Alright. Alright. Solid. I've already talked about it. Ooh, yeah. That is some high melee attack. Look at that. Natural 12k. Of course, it has no defensive values to carry over, but natural 12k. When attacking him, yep, nope. Good trait. Great stats. The word tags, high mobility in close combat, definitely workable. Good stuff. Twin Blade. When all three Gunpla are melee, no, when all three in squad are speed, melee crit rate boosted by 40%. Um, Crit rate, not that great. It hasn't really been balanced to be good. It's not worth it. Crit rate's just not worth it. Statistically, same as the other weapon. Great. High mobility, high firepower tags. Cool. Alright. And its last weapon, the Twin Blade, except this time it holds them like they're guns and pretends it goes pew pew, and I guess the universe goes, you're right, these are guns now. I have no idea what's going on with this. While high mobility, enemy shooting power reduced by 30%. I've already talked about this. Statistically. Alright. So, we have token amounts of melee attack, as it is just under 600 before marks. No defensive values to speak of. Shot-wise, only 5k. So, kind of an interesting part. Not that great for shot machines. It's okay for melee suits, because it has the token amount of melee attack, but the trait's not really useful. And the tags are high mobility and close combat, not really specialized for a melee suit. So, kinda meh. So, overall, looking at the two new suits, I think cohesively, the 00 Quanta, I think, is the better, like, overall cohesive unit. But I really want to see what the Barbatos Taurus does skill-wise. So I'm looking forward to that. Alright. So, our pilots, Sham Skuza. If you, if you never watched Stargazer, Gundam Seat Stargazer, he was the pilot of the Verd Buster. I'm actually really hoping we see more of the mobile suit variations from Seed and Destiny. We've already got a few of them from the God, I remember the pilot's name, Shiohnunfus, but God, if I can remember the name of her suit. It's the Deep something. We have that. We have the Strike Noir, which was from Stargazer, but also kind of counts as like an MSV suit. I'm really hoping we see like the Verd Buster. I'm hoping we see some of the alterations of the Calamity, although I'd just like to have the Calamity in the game first. Please, holy crap, please give us the Calamity. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the original Druggies. That'll be cool. So yeah, lots of stuff I'm looking forward to here. Yeah, the Deep Arms. Saigu Deep Arms. I was thinking Saigu, and for some reason my brain was like, no. The Saigu is the forelegs, and my brain's like, no, that's the Baku. And I couldn't friggin' remember. I just remember Deep, and I'm like, why am I drawing a blank on this? Yeah, Blue Duel, Verd Buster, Strike Noir. What a wombo combo. Anyways, onto the pilot. So, you are a long shooter. Makes sense, Verd Buster. Long range, mid range. Makes sense. All ranged weapon reload speed boosted by 15%. Am I supposed to be happy about this? Because I'm not. Statistically, 1800, 1900 shot attack. He beats out a lot of 4-star pilots. That's not setting the bar very high anymore. Because we've just seen so many things come out that are just amazing for melee and shot that, like... Yeah. Gotta put up, unfortunately. Isn't the Blue Duel the only Gundam to get murked by Mook suits? Well, okay. It really depends on your definition of a Mook suit, unfortunately. Because, in terms of directly jobbing, I'm pretty sure. I think it was the only suit to not be down by aces in a custom suit. But, like, There's just some deaths, at least in Seed and Destiny, that I felt were just so surreal. Like, you're just watching it like, you can't die to that. Bullshit. Right? Like, I know it was a big plot point, but like Nickel dying to the sword in the gut. Like, what? I get why it happened. I saw why it happened, but these guys are aces. How do you make such a basic fuck up? I don't get it. Right? You got, when Heine got himself sliced in half by Stella. Are you telling me his suit wasn't like, warning, warning, something's jumping at you from behind. You don't want to go here. And he was just like, nah, let's do it anyways for the style points. And it gets diced in half. Right? Like, there's just so many weird... Yeah. Anyways. Rusty and Heliopolis. Okay, to be fair, he wasn't in a Gundam yet. He was just an ace that got himself completely just gimped. To be fair, if he was going into that mission and they were all joking around like, haha, man, make sure you don't get shot by naturals, be like, yeah, I'm not that bad, and then you get shot in the head by although, it was Orb. Well, actually, no, it's kind of like Earth Federation was protecting everything, but Orb was in on it, so I'm not sure if the forces that were defending the factory were a mix of Earth forces and Orb, or if it was just Earth forces. Anyways, on to Takuma over here. With technique attribute, job gauge increase boosted by 17%. It's completely useless. Mid shooter. Alright, stat-wise. Ooh, those are some interesting numbers. So we're looking at like 2,800 or so shot attack, which is really high for a non-build project pilot. That's pretty good. Melee, 2,300. More in the token. Well, I'm not going to say token category because as far as 4 stars go, that's actually really high. But in terms of overall pilots, not really that great. High firepower for computers. Yeah, so he's pretty solid. He's not as good as broken as all shit Sana that we had a while back. He's pretty good for a non-build project pilot. All right, well, that's that. So, next up on our to-do list is to take a look at all the Twitter videos, because everyone loves watching the Twitter videos of all these new suits, and, yeah. So, first of all, let's open up the web browser here. Excellent. I'll bookmark that so I can continue reading later. Wait a second, where's my button? God damn it. This is why I shouldn't have a giant bowl of eaten popcorn in front of me, because I can't see my keyboard. There we go. Okay. Twitter video. And that should be the right window. Yes, it was. Why are you not cropped? It's treason, then. I'll just full screen it, whatever. Alright, let me just get this nice and big so you guys can enjoy. Delicious salty fingertips. Alright. Compact all that. Compact all this. Move it over here. Alright. Let's enjoy. Mr. Barbatos Taurus. What I want to do is actually properly shrink this around so that we can zoom in and get a bigger view. Wait a second. I can just do that. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. It's all coming together. Alright. So we'll do that. Alright. What do you guys think of that? That looks nicer, right? So, the Head Awakening. That was kind of a letdown. And the Charge. Okay, so I got a couple of issues with that Charge. So first of all, like, because the enemy's so close, we don't get to see any of the properties of the initial charge. So it hits and it goes into this weird pseudo cutscene. From what I can see here, though, it's because the first hit knocks them airborne, spinning and flying away. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do anything. Alright? And then they're off camera here. And I don't know if this is enough time for their suit to get up or not. But then when they do the second swing, you can see it trying to get back up, goes in for the kill. If the enemy can get control during this animation, like there's enough time for them to do something, this is a critical issue. Because your EX can be interrupted halfway through by a cutscene or something, which negates a ton of the value of it. But it doesn't look like you're able to. So, yeah, it's interesting. It doesn't look terrible. It looks a little more bland than what I was expecting from their, like, headliner look at this suit. It's super amazing. Yeah, I don't know. When I compare it to other suits that have come out, right? Like, the, Arios with the Ptolemaeus 2 or whatever, where it summons the ship, does the massive beam cannon, right? That's cool as shit. Or even, like, the 00 Sky, where it summons the sword down and swings it, right? That's cool. This one's just like, oh, I scream and, oh, I run at you and swing a sword. Not terribly impressed. Anyways, let's take a look at our other buddy here, the Command. Okay, so that's its magazine, and it looks like it is just a single straight shooter Vulcan. Honestly, Vulcans are known for having relatively short range, so they only fly for a short while before they despawn. They also typically have a spread, so there is a chance that some of the shots will miss. As this is a magazine EX skill, you're going to be using it a lot in quick succession. And the longer you have to wait for the previous animation to finish shooting off all the bullets, the worse. So the fact that this goes like, you know, pew, 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 pew. Short distance, spread, meh. It is a B+ Vulcan. You're right. But not all B+ skills, especially magazine skills, are created equal. And that's a good example of that. Like, is it bad? No. It's nowhere near what it's competing against in terms of EX skills in the shield, right? First one that comes to mind, the Sinanju shield, where it has missiles. You just tap, fire a missile really quick. Single shot, homing, kaboom. You just spam that. But this, you shoot. You gotta be close. You have to make sure all the bullets hit, or else you're not gonna get the full effectiveness. And you have to wait for the animation to finish before you can queue up the second one. And because you have to wait, anyways. Alright, so it's Awakening, typical. Did I see that right? So it fires a missile, begins Gacha. As soon as it blows up, it immediately reacquires. I like that one. That is a solid EX skill. The fact that it automatically relocks on to the next target and begins spraying at that, beautiful. I love it. That's what we need. All right. Cool stuff. I'm not terribly impressed by the Barbatos Taurus. Statistically, trait-wise, it's pretty good. In terms of the effects of its EX skills and the general usage of it, pretty good. But the animations are a little on the lacking side. They're very not flourished, which is odd considering the suit. Yeah. Flashier Shiva 5 tube. Yeah. It's on a Sokai part though, so it's worth more. Alright, so we got the Barbatos Taurus, the 00, Neo. That should be it. Just the 3, right? Unless there's more in here that are like at the bottom again that I don't know about. Anyways, let's get going here. We'll start off with the Command Quanta. Then we'll do the Barbatos Taurus. And I guess... Actually, you know what? Let's start with Neo. Because he's on his own over here. Let's give the solo lone man some love. With Technique Attribute, EX skill power boosts by 35%. Alright, so... If you're in a match where you're expecting it to go longer than 10 seconds, whether that's a multi-mission, whether it's a battle circuit, or whether it's a normal free mission or story map. You wait 10 seconds, and if Neo's Technique, you're running 65% bonus on your EX skills. That's really powerful. That's really powerful. Good stuff, Neo. I don't like the after 10 seconds pass as the primary trigger. I wish it had been while Commander or while High Mobility. But it is what it is. So the second trait at least is really nice. Numerically, yeah, his stats are bonkers if you didn't look at them. Like, he breaks 9k naturally because of his raw high statage. And then with the carryover, he's running like 9400 on both, which is really, really good. Now, on to our 00 Command Quanta. And mana confirms that is everything. All right, cool. While attacking... Oh yeah, for anyone that hasn't seen me discuss alterations before... I figure all of you guys have, but just in case, because I see we have a little more viewers than normal. When we go to the alterations, I only look at the trait or the EX skill of the part. Me looking at Neo's stats was kind of one of those, I just want to see because he had stupidly, like, really high raw stats in comparison to what we normally see. It's kind of a curiosity. Anyways, I only look at EX skills or the part traits for these alternated parts. It is extremely safe to assume that the stats are going to see a straight increase. We have less than 5 examples on record where alteration drastically changes the numbers or reduces them, so I do implore you to do your own research before you alternate. Make sure the upgrade is what you want, but it is safe to assume we don't have to worry about the numbers. They go up. The word tags will never change. All that's left is part traits and or EX skill. So that's all I look at. Let's get this cracking. With power attribute... Recover 200 armor gradually. You know, I was joking about that earlier, and they threw it at us. I made the joke with the OG Gundam, and here we are. Wow. The first trait, good stuff. Second trait, they gimped it. Torso. Assault Burst, 49% shot attack. That is the third highest available buff in the game. 59% is the highest, 54% is the second, 49% is the third. Now, of course, this is for offensive buffs. I'm not counting, you know, debuffs or anything, because those can get stupid high, or straight buffs, because those can also get stupid high. For a awakening, that does more than one thing. 49%, really high, probably the best you could really ask for outside of the really top tier, like 54, 59%ers. Good stuff. Arms. I said arms. While Gundam type EX skill power boosts by 35%. As long as the suit is power attribute, and as long as you are Gundam type with the word tag, you're running 35% EX skill boost, 30% shooting power boost. You're getting more than one type of multiplier on here. Dope. Good stuff. Length. Back parts EX skill power boost by 35%. The back part restriction kind of hurts because, you know, your other two EX skills aren't going to really see the benefits of this. The first trait already kind of made it iffy. The back part restriction makes it kind of makes it kind of go down in value to me a little more. But the 35% EX skill power boost on that, definitely good, worth it, good. If the first trait was really solid, you know, like an EX skill power boost or something, then I could, like a general one, I could probably let this slide. But since the first trait is more of a defensive single suit trait, and the second one's a power boost for a single part, I don't know if it's worth investing all the resources to upgrade just to boost a single slot's EX skill power. That's pretty much all I'm getting around to. Backpack. And the bombardment, that's the one that I really liked. That's the one where it acquired the target, fired its first missile, and then started just docking away. As soon as it destroyed the first target, it immediately changed targets to another one and kept going. Good stuff. I really like that. The reacquisition makes it very powerful for large enemy waves. Good stuff. It gets upgraded to A- power, does stay at D Pierce, which honestly I can't really complain about. If it kind of got a Pierce boost as well as a power boost, it would be way too good. So, cool beans. A- power is respectable, for sure. Alright, let's take a look at your sword. The command sword. Back parts, EX skill power. Literally, I just talked about this exact same setup. I'm going to move right along. The combat knives. So while heavy armor, your EX skill power is boosted by 30%. Like I said, heavy armor, not the most common tag in the world, but it's doable. Okay. When attacking with physical, your EX skill power is then further boosted by 35%. So if you're running the heavy armor word tag and you have physical EX skills, you're looking at a hefty 65% boost. And because it does not specify whether it has to be shot or melee EX skills, that means that this is actually a viable weapon to use in both shot and melee builds. Of course, as heavy armor does favor shot attack more than it does melee, you're probably going to see it run more on that, if at all. But the option's there. It's a flexible little set of knives. Yeah, the only thing holding him back is the 10-second limit. Like that, I look at Neo and that's all I see is the 10-second limit. If that wasn't there, he'd be top notch. Just curious, mobility street parts are the same melee power boost trait. Yeah, so the way that it works is if you have like melee power boost 30%, melee power boost 35%, whatever, those are additive. So it goes straight to 65% as long as both those traits are active. And there is no cap to how much things can stack. And that's where we're running into a problem right now. I don't know if you guys have seen the super high-end arena matches or anything. But I mentioned the Arios legs earlier specifically because somebody brought them up as part of this exploit. So to say, with no cooldown or with 100% cooldown reduction or higher, you can actually spam the Arios legs and it breaks the game. And it makes arena unwinnable against certain enemies. And I really hope they fix it soon, whether by adding a hard cap or otherwise, because I get why 100% cooldown is really cool. You get to spam your EX skills, but it makes the game boring. There's too much exploitation available for it. And I keep advocating they should hard cap at like 50%. So that makes those 40% skills like really nice, because you're pretty much almost at cap with that. Or maybe just set it to be 40% cap. So those new Sokai parts are like the ceiling. You max one of those out, you don't have to worry about boosting your melee any further or whatever. Sure, it'll reduce our overall effective power. You know, you're not gonna be able to do 17 billion damage with your bisect anymore. But it'll make things a little more manageable in terms of like content difficulty. No longer you're going to be able to, you know, run into arena with your, 120k power suit and do, 15 million damage per magazine. No, it's going to be hard capped, right? It reduces some of the fun, but I feel like it kind of balances out all the shenanigans that people are doing because it's gone too far. We're past the pale on this one, gentlemen. Anyways. So yeah, combat knives, good stuff. The submachine gun. Shooting power boosted by 40%, and while ace exclusive, EX skill power boosted by another 40%. As I mentioned before, you're most likely going to be running this on a shot machine, if not for the ace exclusive word tag, but for the shooting power boost on its primary trait. And further now, it gets boosted if you have ace exclusive, which you probably should have on a shot machine, as it gives 10% extra shot attack out of the box. You get another 40% boost to your EX skills. This heavy machine gun from the Command Quanta is top friggin' notch. And it doesn't help that the stats are also friggin' great as well. It goes up to 13k raw. It doesn't even need defensive stats to roll over to just slap everything else in the face. Good stuff. Love it. Alright, and the shield. D Pierce B plus power. So as I mentioned when we were watching it, it's good as it is, but due to the downsides of Vulcan, the fact that it has a relatively long animation for what it is, the fact that the shots don't really go that far, and the fact that it does have some spray to it, meaning you could miss at certain distances, there's a lot of competition in the shield department to replace this with something better that has a single projectile, something that has homing, things like that. So, is it bad? It's okay. Would I replace it with something else? Oh, in a friggin' heartbeat would I ever. Okay. And let's take a look at the Barbatos Taurus. The head. It most likely got a bump to like 49%, I imagine, on the Alaya Vinyana. Yep. Speed is a 20% boost like normal, and the melee attack boost went from 39% to 49%. Solid Alaya. Did Alteration do anything to the EX skill? I think it went from B to B+. I think that's all it did. Chobum Shield still reigns supreme for shield mags. I don't know if it reigns supreme, but due to its accessibility, I would say that it is definitely a very, very strong contender. Effect time went from 37 to 44. Yeah. Nothing amazing. Anyways, torso. When attacking with physical, melee power boost by 30%. Like I said, great. When attacking with physical, EX skill power boost by 35%. So, this torso is aces, man. You use physical, whether it's a physical attack, physical shot, physical EX. You're getting the melee power 30% boost. You're getting the EX skill power 35% boost. It's a match made in heaven. You got melee physical EX skills. You got bisect. I bet you got bisect. A boost. Really good. Good stuff. Solid torso. Arms. Weapon reload speed down 20%, EX skill power boosted by 40%, and while close combat, melee power boosted by another 40%. Close combat is a very nice tertiary tag for melee suits. I haven't seen it run as often anymore though, as there's a lot of really good traits available that require another tertiary word tag to activate, but I think the last 2 months or so I've kind of seen a resurgence of while close combat traits, so this is pretty cool to see. The melee power boost, definitely really powerful, alongside the EX skill power boost as well. I don't really have any complaints about this. This is some solid stuff. Again, much like the Barbatos torso. Legs. Alright, let's take a look at your dash, boy. AP Power D Pierce. So, it's a low cooldown A power skill, but unfortunately the animation that we saw on Twitter didn't really give me enough contextual information. I don't know if it has any kind of homing mechanics on it. I don't know if it readjusts after it does part of its animation. There's just too many what ifs. If I were to say though, it's probably pretty good, all things considered. The animation was quick, it was clean. Has a power, low cooldown. Backpack. While high mobility, melee power boosts by 30%, and leg parts EX skill power boosts by 35%. So exactly what I said about the back parts EX skill boost, you know, I don't like the fact it restricts it to a single part. However, as the first trait is actually good on this one, while high mobility, which is a good tertiary tag, you get the melee power boost, I'll give it a pass. Pretty good stuff. Not the best, not ideal, but pretty good. The Longsword. When attacking with physical, melee power boosts by 30%. Look, it's a physical sword that boosts your melee damage if you're using physical. What more do you want? And after 10 seconds pass, melee power boosts by 35%. Hey, it took a page out of the Neo book. Is it a good page? I could have used a little more pass-throughs on the editors. Is it bad? No. Pretty okay. Obviously, the 10 seconds restriction, much like with Neo, does limit some of the usage you're going to get out of it. But overall, you know, there's definitely places to use it. The dual blades are twin blades, so to speak. When all 3 Gunpla in the squad are speed, melee crit rate boosts by 40%, and with speed, melee crit rate boosted further. Now see, this would be an amazing part if crit was good, but it's not. Why, Bamco? Is this your way of telling us you're going to rebalance crit soon and we need to be ready? Is that what I'm seeing here? You're like, hey guys, crit's going to be buffed. Get it while it's hot. Other than that, it's not. Current mechanics, crit's not good. Twin Blade, Gun Edition. While high mobility, enemy shooting power reduced by 30%. Already talked about this. While close combat, EX skill power boost by 35%. I've already talked about that as well. The first trait does kind of kill most of the excitement I have for the second trait on this. The general low stat pool distribution as well, it's kind of eh. They're okay. Okay. So, we have looked at all the new stuff in the Alteration shop. We looked at all the event stuff, blah, 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 blah. Everyone keeps saying, check the shop, check the shop, check the shop. So I'm going to go check the horror deals. Because, good lord, you guys ain't shutting the fuck up about it. What do we got here? Do remember that I'm playing on a phone in Canada. So these prices aren't USD. These are shown as Canadian. So I believe our exchange rate is 75 cents to the dollar. So it's like 25 bucks cheaper pretty much for that $100 pack, which honestly is not bad. Typically, whenever I see a over $100 package in mobile games, it's like 124 bucks for the good stuff. So seeing it at only 100 is actually pretty good. Oh, the horror chip, huh? Wait, that was the horror chip shop, you liars. Unless you mean the actual item shop itself. The horror chip sets, though. Maybe I'll buy one. It's only 100 bucks. Oh. Head start set. What's in here? Is this a free pick ticket? I guess it is. Damn. Okay, hold on. So you get 10 5-star parts. I'm assuming that's going to be non-limited. 5-star AI, nippers, mission tickets, 100. All right, that is definitely a head start set. Haro chip shop. Man, you guys are just not. Hold on. Aha, Haro chip shop. We're going to do this one shop at a time. We're going to go back here first. I'm going to go back to that whatever the hell I just looked at. Alright, builder set. Yeah, I don't care about the builder set. This is not that, yeah, exchange tickets. That head start since... Oh, wait, that's only $1 though. For 10 4-star parts. Oops. For $1. All right. Builder set level 100. Yep, 5-star, 5-star. You get through. Dang. Okay, so effectively 3 free levels for EX skill trait and an AI. That's really good. Is it worth $100 good though? Don't think so. Level 150. Huh? What? There's no difference even between level 100 and the 150 or the 200? What the heck? That is... Alright. Mega Madness ticket set. $50. What? Hold on. What the fuck am I looking at? Ultra exclusive capsule tickets S2. You get 1 ultra exclusive exchange ticket, almost 2,000 Haro chips. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, so this is worth it. So damn, that's actually like, because 1,500 Haro without the sale, for me anyways, if I go to buy Haro chips, 1,500 Haro, no sale, 1850, 17 bucks. So if we round that for effectively $30, I'm getting 2 tickets to roll the exclusive capsules and getting to pick a part of my choice. When I say it out loud, it sounds crazy because I'm paying money for parts. But in practice, considering you could spend hundreds of dollars and not get the part you want, it's pretty good. Anyways, let's take a look at the Haro chip shop proper, because this is what you guys were all going ape about. Yeah, so it's just here. So we got 5-star exchange ticket, 5-star exchange ticket, AI tickets, dang. And then a bunch of these. Oh my gosh. That's actually like crazy value though. Dang. Yeah, if you got like Haro to blow, you could really kit yourself out here with this, especially with these the trade up stuff. Damn. Yeah, before you buy any of these things, before you like look at my reaction, go, I should probably pick them up, make sure you go to the exchange, make sure you go to whatever the relevant is. It should be under special. Yeah, it's here. And make sure the parts you want are actually in here, because the last thing you want to do is commit and then you're screwed. Do keep in mind, you will, in order to alternate most of the stuff in the ultra exclusive capsules, you are going to need the relevant badges. So make sure you have the badges on hand, or you're not going to be able to alternate the parts. That's pretty dope. All right. Well, with that in mind, I was given money to do a roll. So give me just a second here. Let's see here. I guess it doesn't matter really if I leave my thing on or not. My first name is no secret, but I also don't want to put my password in on cam. So, where's my Elgato? There you are. Perfect. All right. So we've obtained the once a month pack. Yeah. To the gacha we go. Oh, no, it's okay. I'd actually rather roll the gacha, because, like, the thing is, right? As much as I look at the stuff that's in the exchange shop and go, oh, this would be really useful for increasing the stats, like the traits and stuff for my characters, there's just no characters available in the, like, you guys know this. I would hope you guys know this by now. But the only character I really care about getting in this is Lacus. And the only Lacus we have is in the pick ticket pool. I can literally cap her out while asleep, and it doesn't matter. The only reason I would pick up any of these, like, skill increasing parts or stuff, and my Axis weapon, you know, the Axis drop, that sword, that's already EX10. It's been EX10 for like half a year now. The only thing that I would really want is a new Lacus, whether that's a build project or gacha or whatever, get that to EX10. And as it stands, there's no second Lacus, you know, other than that, there's like the Amaterasu, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there, frankly. I don't need any of that stuff in the shop. I'll roll the gacha. I'd rather get something new and shiny than buff up what I have, especially with power creep. You can full set your Kshatriya. Oh, yeah. So, with that, I brought it up in my Discord. At least I'm pretty sure I brought it up in my Discord. Let me check here really. I'm pretty sure I did mention it. Did I? Maybe I mentioned it in the general chat and not in the... Did I? No, I guess I didn't mention it. I did actually finish the entire Kshatriya repaired. I did get the head that I was missing, so that meme is dead. Thankfully, it didn't cost me 90,000 haro. God, that was brutal. So I'm a free man in terms of suits. So Mir is not Lacus. I never want to see you saying that again, Tacky. That was a little shit. Alright, do I roll in the Barbatos or the Quant? I guess I'm gonna roll in the Barb. Honestly, I like its appearance. So, let's do a multi. Let's see if Bamco Spy is in here, giving me the luck. I did mention it. Okay, I'm not crazy. Good. Haha, blue. Oh, boy. Why am I not even surprised? But what I will do, because that roll was only about $9 worth, I'll take the remaining 5. What's that worth in haro? Like 650. Oh yeah, so I can buy the 2 single exchanger items. So I'll do that real quick. All right, cool. Bring that back up. Let's go grab those couple of items. So we'll buy the 5-star AI exchange, because that's important. There are some AIs I do really want. And do I want the 5-star part exchange? Or do I want to buy the CPU? I'll buy the CPU. And I'll start hanging on to these so that when we do get a new Lacus version, I can actually work on maxing her out. So, special AI ticket. And I only have the one, right? Yeah, cool. You know, I would ban you in her, but my hand is not on the mouse right now, and I'm notoriously lazy. Count your blessings. Now, what pilot do I want to get? She's pretty cute. Let's filter by series. Let's make my life easier. What am I missing from Seed and Destiny? I guess we'll add Stargazer too. Did I ever get... I don't believe... I never did get Rondo, huh? Oh wait, is this the one I'm thinking of? Oh no, it's not. Okay. I have Mir. I have Lacus, obviously. Don't have Shin, but who cares? Oh wait, I missed a druggie, eh? Alright, I'll probably be picking up the druggie. Miguel. Now, most of these... Yeah. Alright. So I guess I'm going to be picking up Mr. Druggy and going from there. Shani. Alright, so I got Orga, I got Shani. All that's left is Clotho. That's all that's left. Isn't the Druggy 3-star base? I don't care. I got the ticket. I'm going to use it. Because, like, at the end of the day, I'm here to collect very specific things. Very, very specific things. So, I don't really mind if I don't do the optimal pick. Yeah, you guys, if you guys are going to throw about that one, you really shouldn't see what I do, like, off stream to get stuff I want. It's not pretty. Let's see here. It was under... Why is my brain drawing a friggin' blank? I guess it'll be under items, yeah. List. We're gonna sort by... That's not very helpful at all. Oh, right, of course. Sort by series. He was Seed. We're gonna sort by pilots. I really don't want to be sitting here sorting through all that crap. Did he get auto-locked? Yes, he did. Good. And while I'm actually here... There's Orga. Come here, you. That's what I wanted. There we go. Don't you have a lot of 3-star AI tickets? Oh man, I totally do, probably. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't really checked most of my stashes for the longest time, because, like... Yeah. The numbers keep going up, and I can't be bothered to keep looking. Is my bank account okay? Man, you... So... Beyond GBM, I mentioned it a few streams ago, I've been playing a lot of Final Gear. I am totally enamored with that game right now. I'm loving, like, every second of playing it, alongside Punishing Gray Raven. Those two are kind of like my primary active games that I'm playing whenever I can. And I'm actually not spending a lot of money. I'm trying to avoid it, because I know come, like, the Christmas, New Year season, all these games are going to crank it up to 11, and in Fate, we're going to see tons of really high demand units, you know, the guaranteed banners and stuff. We're going to see some new Christmas servants, something on New Year's. GBM, we got the Christmas banners, we got the New Year's banners, all sorts of crap there. Final Gear, we're probably going to get the UR units coming by end of the year, if not early Q1. Punishing Gray Raven, we should have the Avera event or Rosetta by Christmas. No, Lucia Plume is the one that's dropping around Christmas time with her skin. I need money for that, because I want the skin, I want Lucia Plume. So I'm trying to save my money for that. My bank account's doing fine. I don't want to spend a ton of money on this right now. I want to wait. The Christmas sales are also really good. Yeah, no, like, that's the thing with Final Gear. So far, the total amount I spent on Final Gear is purely around costumes, because I got a costume for Leia, and I got a costume for Blade. And Trita. That was it. Those three are the only ones I've got costumes for. Beyond that, I bought the support mechs in the shop because I didn't want to grind them out of PvP for the next, like, 7 months. I was like, screw it, I just want the giant mech, call it a day. So yeah. Other than that, though, I'm not really spending on it because it is very free-to-play friendly. And so is Punishing Gray Raven. That game is disgustingly free-to-play friendly. It's not. People shit down its throat when it launched. It's like, oh, it's not as generous as the Chinese server. And it was crap like, the devs aren't listening at all. They're terribly, terribly Jewish. It's so bad. This game's gonna fail. It's like, look at it. It's thriving. Almost every time a new banner comes out with new characters on it, you can see it in like the top 50 for earning revenue for games. Like, it's doing fine. It's just like, now I'm gonna say something that's probably I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but it's a you probably should have mentioned it opinion. But ever since Genshin Impact release, almost any time another mobile game comes out that looks like it has any kind of like leg to stand on gets fucking crippled. This was never a problem before Genshin Impact came out, but it's become a pandemic since then. Almost all new mobile game launches have been assaulted by lots of like fear, uncertainty, doubt kind of crap. And I don't want to say it's the Genshin Impact community, because I know a ton of people that play that game and they are super nice and they don't give a shit if other games do well. But I also don't want to say it's not them, because they also are an unbelievably huge community. And there's a lot of people that hate everything that's not Genshin. And it is pain. We're only doing one summon for Barbatos Taurus. Yeah, like I said, I want to save as much of my Haro that I can for like the Christmas season and New Year's, so I didn't want to roll, but I only did the one roll because Goldhawk donated and told me to roll, so I did my roll, and then I spent the rest on the items in the shop. So yeah, Slime Isekai Memory. So I don't like the Slime IP. I read the novel. I not just read the manga, I helped scanlate the manga too. I just don't like the IP that much. Where it's gone anyways. If you've read to current with the translated novels, you might understand what I mean. If you haven't, and you've only watched the anime, or you've only read the manga, you're probably still at the good parts. I just didn't like where it ended up, so I lost interest in it. So when this new mobile game came out, I tried it still. I still downloaded it. I gave it the old college try. It never clicked, unfortunately. That feeling of almost like a cheap clone kind of stuck out to me. But I understand why people play it, and I understand why people enjoy it. A lot like the Mushoku Tensei game. I love the Mushoku Tensei IP. I love the story. I love the characters. Granted, the main character starts off a little bit like a piece of shit, but that's what character growth is for. He gets better. Not completely better, but mostly better. And when I tried that mobile game, same thing. It felt just like a cheap game. Wasn't really that great for me, but I understand why people play it. I understand, I totally get that, and respect for you if you do. You know, play the games that make you happy, that you enjoy, because I'm not the one playing it. You are. If you're having fun, power to you. And that's why I'm really looking forward. Sometime next year, I think, the Mahoka Reloaded Memory, if I remember the game's title correctly. I'm excited as shit for that. I love that IP as well. I actually still am part of Onisama TL, the people that did the light novel translations for that. And that IP I love a lot. And I played the original mobile game that they had 5-6 years ago, that crappy card battler thing they had. It was okay. But this new title they have has full 3D models. It looks like it's turn-based combat. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. But I understand a lot of people hate the IP. I understand a lot of people don't like the characters. That's fine with me. I enjoy it. I'll give it a freaking go. And that's why I'm playing Final Gears. I love it. It's fun. It's a good time sink if you have the want to do so. And it's rewarding. PGR as well. Super fun to play. Rewarding if you are decent at it. Very friendly. So yeah. Play whatever makes you happy. Just because I didn't enjoy certain games, right? Like Revive the Witch. I wanted to love it. You guys have no idea how badly I wanted to like Revive the Witch. I was so hyped for that game. I got access into the CBT, but couldn't access my account because I didn't sign up using a Google Mail. So I couldn't play the CBT, but the pixel art called to me. I love the combat, and I was like, yeah, this is dope. And I played it, and the gacha let me down. The overworld movement was clunky at best. But it's a shame. The OST was great. The graphics were great. It's one of those games where it's like, I would be playing it if they just had a few minor changes to it, but because there's so much available to play, so much I'm already playing. It's difficult to justify playing something like Revived Witch, to me, anyways. I'll catch up what you guys are saying. Yeah, so the Mushoku Tensei game, I'd recommend try it. If you like the IP, give it a go. Maybe the combat style will click with you. Maybe the appearance of it works. I don't know if you guys played Danmachi Memoria Freeze, but that as well. I felt like it, even though the art was really good for the character cards and the gacha and stuff, the actual in-combat felt cheap. It felt very empty, hollow, flimsy. It didn't feel good. And that's how I feel about a lot of games that I don't continue playing. Revived Witch, excellent combat. I loved it. There was depth behind it. Good stuff. Memoria Freeze, loose, boring. The sprites were lacking. I look at Mushoku Tensei. Even though the animations were good, the sprites, to me in combat, lackluster. I didn't like the way that they had handled that very well. But the animations were good, the particle effects were good, but I couldn't get over the sprites. Right, and I guess it's just kind of like because of what I've played, right? I try to trend more towards the 3D games if I can, because typically they look much nicer. Especially recently, the mobile 3D games are so good. Ignoring Genshin, it's stylized, right? It's like saying Wind Waker looks good. Of course it does. It's stylized. It's going to look good for years and years and years and years. And kudos to the art director for that. Genshin looks good. And there's no debating that. But when I look at something like Punishing Gray Raven, and I look at the graphics, I look at the backgrounds, I look at the particle effects, the optimization, it's like, this is what I like to play. And that's why the Mahoka game calls out to me. It's 3D. The very short, like 2.5, 3 seconds of look we get at the 3D models, god damn, they look clean. And whenever I go on to the store to find a new game to play, I'm always let down because they're all 2D. And I get why they're 2D. It's so much easier to make them 2D, so much cheaper. But man, there's so much quality that doesn't get tapped with these IPs. If they had made, for example, if they had made a Mushoku Tensei game where you follow the steps of Rudy through his childhood and everything, and it was more like a 3D fleshed out. If you guys played Tales of Luminaria, something like that, where even if it was just a hallway crawler, but you followed Rudy from like young up and up and up, and as you're playing through the game, right, the gacha as the new story chapters come out reflect the characters that are available, so you can get, you know, young or younger Ghislaine, you can get, you know, older Ghislaine, you can get, you know, the different ages for all the characters. That would be cool, that would be unique, that would be different, that would be something that actually requires time investment. That'd be neat. Instead they're just like, screw it, we'll just throw a whole bunch of characters in, make a new story. Ai Lamau, bam bam bam, summer swimsuits, sure, whatever, it's just not fun. It feels cheap. Guardian Tales. No, I don't think I have. The name doesn't actually even sound familiar. Let me just do a quick Google here. Guardian Tales. You know, I wanted to watch a video because they had a play button on it. And as soon as I clicked it, it took me to their Twitter instead, and I feel betrayed. Sure, I'll just grab your video real quick. Is there gameplay? Now see, this is like a weird clash. So in Guardian Tales, they have 2D sprites on a 3D space. So some enemies are 3D, some are 2D, some of the foreground and background objects alternate between 2D and 3D. That's interesting, don't get me wrong, like that's a cool thing to do. But for me, the pixel art clashes so hard because there's effectively 4 different art styles in Guardian Tales that I'm looking at. So we have the I almost want to bring this up just so I can point it out on the screen. So we have enemies that are 3D and they have their own shaders, their own art style. Then we have the main playable characters that have their own 2D sprites, shaders, art style, and everything. Then you have the city that the player, in this specific screenshot that I have open in front of me, I'm looking at. The city has its own style, its own 3D objects. And if I put the enemy that's 3D next to the houses that are 3D, they clash. They don't look like they belong in the same game. And then, you know, you have the ground tile set, which looks different than the characters because the characters are a much higher resolution in terms of like total pixel quality versus the landscape. So I would play this and it would drive me nuts. Seeing all these different, like some 3D, some 2D, some, you know, and it's just, nah. If you're going to go 2D, go the MapleStory route. Stick with 2D the whole way through. Go for that style. Because it works. We know it works. Mixing 2D and 3D can work, but you really got to make those 3D objects fit in that 2D world. And I don't think Guardian Tales really pulled it off. Let's see here. Dragalia Lost was another one I wanted to enjoy. The reroll though, the rerolls in Dragalia Lost completely killed me. When that game launched, I was re-rolling for, I believe it was 8 hours across 4 emulators. I'd have to dig back into one of my conversations to get the exact numbers, but that sounds about right. About 8 hours across 4 emulators, I was re-rolling. All I wanted was a single character, and a single SSR character, any SSR character, and a single SSR dragon in the same roll. That was all I wanted to start with. Character dragon. And I would go. I never got both of them in the same roll. And after that, I was like, honestly, the reroll system in this, not user-friendly, and the difficulty of me getting these 2 characters when I have unlimited rolls to my advantage, I don't want to play with the gacha in this game. So I just quit out and never looked back. And, you know, Dragalia, it's not a bad game. It's a banger soundtrack. I love the sprites. I love the map. The combat, a little bit on the shallow side, but not bad, all things considered. And the varied amount of units, all the different art and stuff that they have for it, it's a rather high budget game. It just never really clicked with me because when you're playing a gacha game, the gacha's got to be good. It's got to reel you in. You got to use the gacha and go, this feels nice. Right? That's actually one of the issues I had with PGR, Punishing Grey Raven. The gacha animations are so friggin' lame. You know, you go to roll and it's just like, oh, we're going to open a treasure chest. Ooh, what's in it? And the animation all looks the same, right? I'm really glad that I saw the recent footage of the updated gacha animations that they look friggin' good now. It actually looks like next gen shit now. They're gacha animations on the Chinese server. Can't wait for that to hit global. But like PGR gacha feels good to use. Even GBM, I know people shit all over it because it doesn't have a pity system or any kind of stacking fail or anything. But like, man, the gacha feels good to roll. I don't know why, but it does. Right? Part of that's probably biased because I typically get more gold than I do anything else. But it doesn't change the fact that it still feels good to roll it. You gotta feel like some kind of progression with it. The lack of pity hurts. The lack of a good recycle system, like it's there. It's workable. It's not great. But when I compare it to other games I've played where they have like a disgustingly high pity counter, or there's no pity at all, much like, you know, GBM, or the way that, you know, you earn currency is just painful and sluggish for free to play, right? I think I've just kind of hit this point where, because I've played so many different mobile games across all these different genres, I just kind of set my expectations too high now, and it's really difficult to find a game that's like, oh yes, I gotta remember these are mobile games. All this talk of gameplay shows the power of IP and story for a game like that. Okay, so disclosure, as much as I shit on FGO, like I do it a lot. I don't do it so much in my Wasteland Discord, but in the FGO Wiki Discord, in the one of the really old translator Discords that we have, I shit on FGO all the time. It's slow to update, but you know it's also 6 years old. There's no pity. They decided, oh, we're going to be nice and add a pity, and then they have their shitty Saint graph system. What the hell is that? Oh, you got to roll a single SSR 5 times, and then every copy of that SSR after that gives you a blank graph. 5 of those graphs, you can pick whatever you want. The only people that are going to roll 5 copies of an SSR are the Uber whales or people that got such absolutely disjointed luck in like getting spooked or something. No one else can ever approach that pity system. That's a joke. But disclosure, I actually enjoy the FGO combat system to a degree. The Lost Belt boss fights, I find those are as difficult as they are. It's because they're difficult I find them fun. Even though I have Merlin, Scotty, even though I have Castoria, the new Vitch, I have everything. Right? I have all the meta stuff. It's difficult. And I adore that because it makes me have to think to fight these things, right? Of course, I have used my seals to carry myself through bosses. Haven't used a blue cube yet, though. But at the end of the day, as much as I shit on FGO for myriad things, because God knows it has a lot of problems, I find the combat, although it's turn-based and a little outdated, I find that it still does have its moments where it shines. And that's a lot more than I can say for some other games. Like, you play FGO, the animations are stunning. Like, go look at the brand new Lancer we just got on the JP server, Ryoma. Oh my God, those animations are crisp. Right? Like, his final ascension is an Evangelion reference, for Christ's sakes. It's just, it's so cool. And his entire character is just so well done and high quality. And that's something that you don't see from a lot of the games that I was complaining about, right? You won't see that in Mushoku Tensei. You won't see that in Slime Tensei. You won't see that in Dragalia Lost. It's just like, Fate has a lot of issues, but has a couple of merits that really set it apart from everyone else. So, you really gotta put up with FGO. I'm a slut for Gundam. This is my first real gacha. Someone had to explain pity to me. Yeah. Like... I know Bamco Spy is watching. And I'm sorry, Bamco Spy. But one of the only reasons I'm still playing this game is because it's Gundam IP in English. It is so difficult to find good mobile games to play these days, right? The ones that come out that are really good are very few and far between. And this game, when it launched, it was so much fun. GBM was so much fun when it launched. The new suits that came out week after week, seeing all of the things we could do, all the cool strategies. But as I mentioned earlier in this stream even, the fact that there's no cap to a lot of the traits and things that we can increase has led to a lot of breaking exploits. Arena is practically unplayable in really high level content because you have people with 100% cooldown reduction spamming an EX that just crashes the game. So if you fight them to try to beat them, you can't. You physically can't beat them, and that's it. You got people that instantly clear content because they have an AoE clear on 0 CD that does so much damage and instantly kills everything on the map. And it's like, it's a product of our own creation because we build these suits and we decide to do it. But the lack of oversight with, you know, general mechanics kind of hurts, you know. If they had taken a little more time, I guess, to look at the ramifications of 100% cooldown reduction, they'd taken a little time to look at what would happen if players had, you know, 400% EX skill power boost, things might have been different. It'd be really hard to roll things back now because people have invested so much time, money, effort, everything into this game, and to nerf would be terrible, and I would hate to see nerfs. But it's really the only way that this game can go back to being something that people want to actively play all the time and stay on top of and track. Because as is right now, we are past the 2nd anniversary. This game has gotten relatively far in its life cycle, but like it can be so much more, and it just feels weird, you know. I play PGR, I play Final Gear, I play Tales of Luminaria, and I see games that have a ton of potential and will go for a long time. Then I play this, and it's like this has so much room, and it just doesn't want to take advantage of it, you know? Yeah. Oh, my phone ran out of battery. That's why I was like, why is it shutting down? It should go into a screen lock. It's, oh no, it's just straight up out of battery. I let it run for too long. But like, yeah. If you guys want, we can just do a gacha talk. I'm not against it. It's not like I have anything else to do. It's only midnight. It's not like it's 1 a.m. or anything. But like, I enjoy mobile games a lot because they really scratch that like social itch for games that I have. Back when I was in like college and university, my main social outlets for gaming were StarCraft, Dota 2, and Battlefield. And with StarCraft 2 effectively dead, Blizzard dead, and Battlefield, the most recent edition, that's not Battlefield. All that's left is Dota. But most of my friends have moved on from Dota, and they're playing things like New World that they dropped really quickly. Some of them are playing Final Fantasy 14, but they're all on different data centers, or they already have their group of friends that they've played with, and they've already finished everything, so they're just waiting for Endwalker now, right? Some of them are waiting for new Diablo likes to come out. What was the name? Lost Ark. I know a lot of people play Path of Exile. Those don't appeal to me. So when it comes to games, I can really only find this like social aspect in mobile games now, because most of the people I know play mobile games because they're quick to consume. There's social aspects to it. Lots of pros effectively to playing them, obviously, besides the fact that they're gacha and they're cancer and they drain your savings away. So I try to go out of my way to play almost all of the new mobile games that come out just because I want to find something that really, clicks with me that I want to play. And that's why I wish like I streamed more. Like when I tried Revived Witch, right? I wish I had streamed that so you guys could have got my raw impressions of that, but I didn't. I just downloaded it and tried it, and then afterwards I was like, probably should have done that in the video. I find myself doing that a lot, actually. So yeah, I really want mobile games to improve. I want them to be more like what Genshin did. I want them to be treated, properly and developed by people that are competent, that put time and money into it. I want to see more games with the fidelity of Punishing Gray Raven. I want to see games with the generosity of call games like Azure Lane. I want to see games that have developers that are constantly communicating like they do with GBM, right? I want that all packaged in like a single thing. We got what? Tower of Fantasy coming out or something next year, which looks interesting on paper. I don't have high hopes for it. It looks like another quick flash in the pan. Even though it looks beautiful and they appear to be listening to a lot of feedback, it's got a feeling it's going to be a flash in the pan. Like Genshin, when that game launched, almost every single human being that I knew that did anything related to video games had heard of it, played it, or, spent money on it. But fast forward to now, almost nobody I know talks about it. The circles I hang out in, I think there's maybe 10 people that play it out of thousands. And it's not because it's a bad game. The end game is shit, but that's a subjective opinion, I guess. It just fizzled out for one reason or another. Star Rail got announced. People are super hype about that. Oh, it looks so good. The publisher is super generous. This game's going to be the next big one. It's like, sure. But what about all the other IPs? What about Honkai Impact 3rd? That's still going strong. What about Genshin Impact? That's still going strong and is considered the best mobile game because of its or best anime mobile game because of its overarching reach. Almost everyone knows about it. How is Star Rail gonna compete? What's it gonna do? What's it gonna bring different to the table? It looks the same as it looks like they took Honkai and added the Genshin filter to it effectively. It looks like a more high quality Genshin, turn-based, obviously. Does that make it stick out in a crowd? Potentially. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope. But I feel like with Genshin, as I was trying to originally make a point of, I feel like it's going to be really popular for the first while, and then after people go, well, it's just another gacha game the devs are, spitting out. That's it. So, I don't know. I just want to find a good mobile game that keeps me hooked, that keeps me wanting to play, that keeps me interested. And like it's I guess you can argue it's a laundry list, right? I want a game that's I don't even know how to describe it, really. It's just there's so many good things out there with all the different mobile games I've tried, and no game has ever put them all together. So, do you prefer gacha games or more grinding games? That's a really good question. So when I was young, really young, like we're talking back when we had like Windows 98 young, um, my primary game was Battlefield 2. I actually grew up playing mostly first-person shooters, Battlefield, Halo. Never did Call of Duty though. Was never really a fan of Call of Duty of all things. Um, I played a little bit of Castlevania. Beyond that though, that was really it. It was mostly first-person shooters. And I guess time for story time. I must have been. This is quite a while after that. I must have been. Oh boy, cripes. This is back when MSN Messenger was still a thing. If that puts a date stamp on it. But a friend of mine that lives overseas, at the time, anyways, he was a friend of mine at the time. I haven't talked to him in so long. It sucks. He was a cool dude. He DM'd me one day on MSN. He's like, "Hey man, you told me you had a PS2." I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "You playing anything on it?" Well, I had this guy on it. That was pretty fun. But I'm still kind of I'm looking for a good FPS. I had Killzone on it. God, that was so much fun. On my N64, we had like Turok. But yeah. And I was telling him, I'm just kind of looking for stuff to play. He sent me a ISO for Persona 4. And he's like, what you should do is try this game out. I was all right. And this was back when the internet was a lot slower than it is today. It was going to take a very long time to download that ISO. So in that time, I actually got my mom to drive me out to EB Games so we could check on the shelves, check the bargain bin or anything, see if I could find Persona 4 or Persona or anything related to this game. This guy knew his stuff. He knew about games, and me and him were pretty good friends, so I was going to take his recommendation seriously. I was going to sit down and play this game that he recommended to me. And I couldn't find it in the store, but I went home. I got the game working on my PS2, and ever since I beat Persona 4, I've always been into JRPGs. That very specific genre of progression, story, the way that it handles grind and everything. I have a very vested interest in. And that's why when you ask, do I prefer grinding or gacha, it's a 50-50 to me. Because I don't mind the grind, right? I've played through Persona. I've all five Personas. I've played through Dragon Quest. I've played through Tales. I've played through the entire AT project. Um, I have played so many JRPGs that my brain has grown numb to the concept of you need to grind to progress. But do I enjoy it? I don't know. I've effectively grown numb. I don't know if I enjoy it or not because I've done it so much, it's just completely moot to me. That's why when I did my fifth run through Persona 5 Royal, technically, because I did like 3 runs of the base game and then 2 runs of Royal, I didn't care that I had to sit and grind for a while. It's just second nature at this point, right? So if I had to choose, I would prefer a game be more like a JRPG where it's grind versus gacha, because I prefer my efforts being rewarded instead of. I wish I had my wallet on hand, but it's across the room, so I could open it and flap it around as a joke. But I prefer grinding and being rewarded for my physical effort versus just opening my wallet, swiping my credit card, and getting progression. I respect both types of games. I respect the interest that people have in them. And as someone that's played Gacha for at least 6 years now, if not more, I do have a very not strong attachment, but I have a very, what's the right word? I have a healthy attachment to Gacha. I understand the enjoyment of it. I understand the risks associated with it. But if I were to pick up a mobile game, I would prefer one that gives me rewards for playing. And that's actually one of the reasons I love Punishing Gray Raven so much. That is a game that wholly rewards you, the player, for playing the game. If you're the kind of person that likes Devil May Cry or Dark Souls, or those games that reward you for learning the mechanics, that reward you for playing well, that give you progression in all forms by playing, you should try Punishing Gray Raven if you haven't. It runs on almost all phones. It's extremely well optimized. They recommend you play it on an emulator, and it has a lot of emulator support because the game is fucking beautiful. Look at it. Let me put it this way. If you haven't played Punishing Gray Raven yet, imagine they took a game from the PS4 and put it on mobile. That's pretty much what you're working with here. It has the graphics, it has the sound, it has the optimization, it has the voice actors. It has everything you could want in a mainline game for a console or even for PC. The only thing that holds it back is that there is a gacha and it is on mobile. To me, that is the only thing that injures PGR. Other than that, it feels amazing to play. And I always recommend that game to anyone that goes, hey, you got a mobile game to recommend? PGR. Instantly. First game off the top of my tongue. It rewards you for playing well. It rewards you for playing. It respects your time as a player. And although we are on an accelerated schedule on global, where you're not going to get every single unit playing for free as long as you play actively, you don't need to, because you can skip some characters as long as you have an idea of what's coming up in the future. And most characters end up in the 70% rate up pool later anyways. So in 4 or 5 months from now, if they decide to do a big sale, on rainbow carts for like their anniversary or something, you got a few bucks laying around, throw it in, go and try to gacha those characters that you may have missed. It's all pity rollover anyways. So yeah, grind or gacha. I would say I prefer grind, but I'm also probably not the best person to ask because I'm so used to grinding at this point that when a game goes, hey man, time to grind, it's okay. Like, you guys can't see it, but I'm currently grinding Guild Wars in Grand Blue Fantasy, right? Like, I'm just used to it now. It's a matter of, it's just fact of life. As long as it feels rewarding. I didn't like grinding in Black Desert because it felt slow. It felt like I was in a bog. I wasn't progressing. I wasn't going anywhere. And I dropped it relatively quickly after my friends started playing and like, oh, this is pretty cool, pretty cool. I'm gonna go back to WoW. And I was like, all right, cool, and just uninstalled it. All right, time to catch up on chat here because I just went on a big old talk. Blah, 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 blah. Do you ever go back and play SMT? So I have SMT 5. So I had played Persona 4, aced it. I then played Persona 3 FES. I didn't play Persona 3, just went right into FES because I heard it was the superior version of the game. Aced that. Both main story and the answer. No problem. Then I played Persona 3 Portable. I played Persona 4 Golden. I played Persona 5, Persona 5 Royal. I've been through the gamut of recent games. At one point between Persona 3 Persona 3 FES and Persona 3 Portable, I actually got Persona 1 and 2 and played through both of those on my PSP. That was nice. I played through that entire thing. During all that, I kept hearing people say, you should try SMT because it's what Persona is based off of. And it made sense because you had Shin Megami Tensei, Persona, I think it was 3 or 4, whichever one had it. But anyways, I saw the title, I knew it, and I was like, I should probably try it because it spawned this game, this franchise, Persona, that I love. Try it. So I picked up SMT, was it 5? Was it 4? It was the one on the 3DS. It's probably 4. Anyways, I tried that, and I got probably like 2 hours, 3 hours in, and just kind of lost interest. I don't know why. By all accounts, I should love SMT. I should. It has all the mechanics I like. It has characters and stuff that I enjoy. It just doesn't click. I don't get it. And I just never went back to try SMT. I just stuck with Persona. But I have given it I gave it the college try. And it didn't click. And that's unfortunately that, which kills me, but is what it is. I can grind, but I don't just grind for the sake of grind. I swipe for the monthly packs and level up pass. Yeah. So like, actually, I wonder, what's my phone's charge at right now? Can I? Oh, good. It's at 49%. Awesome. I can actually turn on my phone again. With Final Gear, like, you don't have to spend a lot of money. If you want to, they give you the power to do it, but you don't have to. The only thing you have to do, I think, is kind of read up on the meta units because Global's on such an accelerated schedule right now that, you know, if you don't, then kind of up shit creek. Like, if you don't know that the current rate up Liangle is like top tier and you don't roll her, you're going to have a bad time. All right, but just the way it goes. Breaker 3 grinding parts. Yeah, I actually... I think the case is still sitting in here, and I think the disc is actually in my PlayStation. Yeah. Oh, come here, you. I actually bought this when I was at a Anime North convention, God knows how many years ago now. And I still crack it out from time to time, slap it in the old PS4 and give it a play. And it's fun. And, you know, it's enjoyable. And I'm sad that the new Gundam Breaker they released on Steam wasn't as good. But, you know, different dev team, I reckon, is what it is. Is there a need for gacha characters in Punishing Gray Raven, or is it more skill-based? So, it's a double-sided thing. First of all, With Punishing, I know we've completely deviated from Gundam at this point, but I don't care. Um, with PGR, um, first of all, it is skill based. It is heavily skill based. You could whale tens of thousands of dollars in PGR to get all the characters, max them out, absolutely everything, their weapons, all that stuff, and you would just eat shit if you don't know how to play. That's pretty much it. Um, the most important thing with Punishing Gray Raven is you need to learn how to dodge, when to dodge, and after those two things are mastered, you then have to know how to make the most out of the equipment of your characters. Of course, gacha characters do play a relatively important part. So the way that the game works, it has elements in it. So, or I guess damage types more so than elements. But anyways, you have physical, lightning, fire, ice, dark. Those are your 5 elements. And the way that the game works is you want to work towards building a team for all of those elements. A team consists of 3 characters. You have a DPS, a tank, and a healer slash support. Of course, that's the bread and butter basic. You can obviously change it depending on what you have available. Some super meta comps are like 2 DPS and 1 healer. Some of them don't even have a healer and just have a tank. It's like, I don't take damage, I dodge everything. Oh, and that's cool. They've played the game a ton. They're good. But certain tasks become easier if you use the right element on it. Now, one of the big things I love about PGR, this has turned into a shilling stream for PGR all of a sudden. So normally when a game has PvP, it really favors the whales. And if you're not a whale, you're going to get absolutely shit all in terms of returns when you do any PvP stuff. PGR has 2 types of PvP. It has Warzone and Pain Cage. Warzone is a PvE scenario. You select a stage. Every 3 days, 2 stages become unlocked, and you get 1 unlock a day. So you kind of got to play this one relatively often. So you hop on, you unlock one of the 2 stages, you play through it, try to get the highest score that you can, and PvE. You just kill a bunch of enemies over and over and over again until you can't anymore, and it gives you a score. Bada boom. Pain Cage is you versus boss. So it is your entire team versus a boss. You can only field units so many times. You got to be kind of frugal with them. And it really comes down to the knowledge of what you have available, what you're fighting, all of that. But the big thing that sets PGR apart from other games is the gacha currency isn't locked behind how well you do in these modes. For example, the weekly missions for Warzone are literally participate in Warzone. That's it. It doesn't care if you win. It doesn't care if you lose. Literally participate. You're going to get all the gacha currency that the whales do. The only difference is they're going to get some of the special shop currency for the Warzone store, but all that does is allows them every couple of weeks to get a 6-star memory of their choice. Problem is that pool is very limited. It likes changing, and at the end of the day, they're probably just going to recycle it anyways to turn into chips to trade up. So you're not really falling behind anyways. Pain Cage is a little different, and its weekly milestone rewards for the gacha currency are to reach certain point thresholds. These point thresholds are not terribly difficult to reach. The way that it works is there's different brackets based on your level. And depending on what level you are, it scales the enemies and puts you into a bracket with a bunch of other people around that level. So you're not going to get completely shit-stomped. Nice. So it really comes down to, do you have 10 minutes in the morning to play Punishing Gray Raven? If you do, you'll have all the same rewards as someone that plays 17 hours a day, spends $3,000 an hour, and has all the units in the game. Because the developers are like, hey, you're going to get stuff for being a whale, but everyone deserves the gacha currency for just playing. And I love it. And you will almost always find yourself from month to month having enough of the gacha currency to roll when a unit you want shows up. That's the other thing too. With Punishing Gray Raven, there's 2 types of characters available in the pool. well, besides compositors and constructs, you have the S rank characters and the A ranks. S rank characters are limited gacha pool, but their banner runs out, they get removed from the 100% rate up pool and get moved into a 70% rate up pool. So even if you don't have characters from launch, you can still roll for them with a 70% chance to get them and a 30% chance at some other random 6-star or whatever in the pool. So it's not really that big of a deal. Beyond that, whenever an A rank character comes out, which is typically every other patch, they'll have like an S rank and then an A rank, then an S rank, then an A rank. A ranks, you can farm. You don't have to roll the gacha to max them out. Whenever a new A rank character comes out, they'll get what's called their interlude unlocked. And in an interlude, when you run it, you get a character shard. You can run it twice a day per character. So you can get per day 2 shards. Takes 30 shards to unlock a character. Patches run typically 24, 25 days. So as long as you play for a couple of weeks and you just do this character's interlude, which takes very little stamina to do, you'll get the A rank character. And because you can keep farming their shards after that event's over, as long as you have the character, you can get them up to the highest rank available, triple S plus, by just playing. You don't have to spend a dime on them. Only the S rank characters require you to gacha, if at all. So PGR is extremely friendly, very comfortable. If you're someone that's only in there for the cute waifus, the hot husbandos, it's got your shit covered. And out of all the games I've played, I've found that it's the one that feels the best. Because yes, it is relatively important that you have your elemental team set up. But at the same time, unless you're really striving to reach the top 10% in Pain Cage, if you're looking to be in the top 5 for Warzone, whatever, if you're not aiming for that, it doesn't matter. You could just keep running your favorites all the time if you wanted to, and nothing changes. They've recently added in the ability to run a map multiple times in a single go, so you don't clear the map, have to back out, re-enter the map, clear it, back out. You can just run it 4 times in a row instantly, just 1, and then another wave spawns, 2, 3, 4, and you're done. Super quick. And my last favorite part with Punishing Grey Raven is, on top of all the gacha casual comfiness that it has, when it comes to rewarding you as a player for just sitting down and playing, it guarantees rewards. So the way that it works is you have a character. The character will have a weapon and 6 memories. These memories are like effects and extra stats for your character. When you have multiple memories from a set, it enables special set effects. And a lot of the DPS and healers and tanks have a meta memory set that activates very specific traits to maximize their usefulness. Now you may think, so not only do I need to get their weapon, but I also need to get the memory shards. And this is the one that really makes me in love with PGR, because it helps my friends that don't want to pay anything with mobile games to at least try it. When it comes to farming memories, there is a resource map available in the game that you can farm as often as you want. Costs 30 stamina to do, so as long as you have stamina refills or whatever, you can run it as much as you want. And the highest tier of it has a chance to drop 6-star memories. You are guaranteed, after 8 runs, to get a 6-star memory drop, no matter what. So it's like a pity. So if you run the map 8 times, you are guaranteed at least 1 6-star memory. On average, in 8 runs, I typically get 2 to 3. Now, it does pick from a wide pool of memories, because there's a lot of 6-star memories in the game. But if you remember earlier, I said they'll recycle it to get memory chips. You can do the same thing with these. If it's not a memory you need, if it's not in the right slot you need, because there are 6 memory slots and each of them are specifically numbered. So if you wanted to have a memory, this very specific memory in slot 1, it has to be the first slot position memory to go in. It sounds a little tedious and kind of unnecessary, but it's there for a reason. It's just stat distribution min-maxing. It is what it is, unfortunately. Anyways, you can take these memories you don't need, recycle them into chips. You get 50 chips for a single 6-star memory, 150 chips. You can pick any 6-star memory in the game in any slot. There's no restriction like in Warzone where it's a randomized pool. There's no restriction. It's literally anything you want. So in 24 runs of this resource map, you are guaranteed at least one memory that you can 100% use to slot into your character. That is typically, stamina-wise, about maybe a week or so of stamina. So once a week, you're guaranteed one of your characters will have one thing set to end game status. 1 out of 6 memory slots. As for weapons, there's a co-op mode in this game where you can play with other people on the server, friends, whatever. And in that, whenever you clear the boss, 3 items become selectable. You can't see them. It's like pick a card. You pick it, a weapon. You can get 5-star weapons from that. Of course, characters have their own signature 6-star weapons, which buff that character exponentially, make them really good, but they're not required to do really well in the game. There's actually some content creators that run the game specifically without the 6-star customized weapons, just to show people this is doable without this stuff. It's nice to have. It makes your life easy. Maybe you want to get it for your favorite character. They're not necessary. So you can just get these 5-star things from co-op, which is farmable. Go on with your life. And if it's not a weapon you want, you can use it as XP fodder to increase the level of stuff you do need. So when it comes to PGR, across all fronts, whether it's gearing your character, free-to-play friendly. Whether it's getting your characters, free-to-play friendly. If it's an A rank character, you can just farm them up by playing the game. If it's an S rank, there's enough time between patches for you to have saved the currency to roll it. And if you want to be super safe on that front, you can buy the monthly pass. For 30 days, you get 100 black cards, which is their gacha currency, and it costs 1,500 cards to do a single multi-roll. It doesn't sound like much. You're like, oh, I'm only going to get, 3,000 cards. The thing is, in between patches, typically you're going to get about 12 to 13,000 black cards if you play every day. And with that in mind, sparking a character, if I remember correctly, it's what, 2,500 per multi-roll, 60 rolls. It costs like 13k to spark. So the black card is just guaranteeing that you have the black cards in case you miss a day or something. So, yeah. End of the day, I recommend that, people try PGR. Super free to play friendly. If you're someone that likes spending money, lots of really cool shit there. There's lots of really good avenues to spend your money in that game. The coding system, you can preview every character that's in the game, even if you don't have them unlocked. You can view all the codings or costumes they have available, even if you don't have the codings or the characters unlocked. So you can always see what's there. And if you ever wanted to, you could, for what I've done, for example, is I've gone and downloaded the Taiwanese client on one of my emulators. And I use that whenever I want to see characters that are coming up, costumes that become available later, to kind of help me plan out what do I want, coding wise. I'm going to try to get all the characters, but for costumes, what do I want? What's worth farming? What looks good? I don't see many games do that. And I find that really, really weird. Yeah, I'm still on, Daj. We ended up talking about other mobile games and stuff. Now I'm just on a PGR rant. But actually, on that note, let me see here. My phone should be... Yes, my phone is on. Let me just boot up PGR here real quick, and I'll show you what I mean. But, yeah. Oh, let me actually change to a proper spread here. There we go. Chat should load. Do I not? Oh, I don't. Give me a second here. I need to grab my chat from here. Because I have 2 different chats. There we go. Excellent. But yeah. Like, when it comes to PGR, yeah, I have a couple of... Actually, here, I'll just show you real quick. What I have on my home screen here, so I have Tales of Luminaria in the corner. Tales of the Rays, Punishing Grey Raven, Arc Knights, which I'm probably going to drop soon because I started it and it's okay. It's not really my cup of tea. Tower Defense, I wanted to try it because I gave it a very brief try when it first came out and I wasn't terribly impressed with it. But it's okay. Grand Order, oops, almost dropped my phone. Final Gear, which is, I love it. So much fun. And Grand Blue Fantasy. And Grand Blue Fantasy, oh boy, don't play that if you respect yourself. But, yeah, so PGR. Let's see here. So if I go to my character pool, for example, and I pick, I don't know, let's see. I have everyone, unfortunately, so I can't pick someone I don't have unlocked. Let's pick Karenina, I guess. So you can go to coatings, and even though I don't have a coating unlocked, I can still view what it looks like on the character. You got your camera controls, so you can enjoy the skin. I know what you degenerates are going to do with that one. Don't worry. But yeah. Beyond that, like, it's just... It's fun, man. This game is a lot of fun, and I'm really glad I picked it up. Actually, do I have any interludes I haven't done yet today? Because I've done my daily event farming. I did both of yours. Did I do my astral grind? Yeah, I did. Sophia? Yes. And I don't... Yeah, I didn't do Isla, so I'll do her grind real quick. And unfortunately, because I have all these cables sticking out of my phone, it's really hard to get a good grasp on my device. So... Oh, instant kill. Nice. Yeah, the interludes don't scale to your character levels, so you can just absolutely demolish them. Yeah, which I just did there. Whoops. Let's see here. Yeah. Besides those done, I wonder, I should probably do a Ouroboros map, because those are actually, like, I gotta sit and think a little bit. I would do, like, Warzone or Pain Cage, but I've already done my runs for... Actually, you know what? I'll do Warzone real quick, because I can actually run that as many times as I want, thank God. Where am I? I'm position 5. I could probably milk out a few more points here. Gotta unplug my battery cable though, because I gotta actually focus for this one. I keep forgetting his snapshots are crazy quick. Just a second before the actual ult drop. Damn. How do you have enough stamina for the interlude and the event? So I'm one of those guys that, oh, let me just go back to my home screen here. I'm one of those guys that has the 90 stamina per day pass so that I can do all of this grinding, because I did really want to get all of the character shards or the fragments and stuff set up for my characters, because with Plume coming soon, I want to get all that shit sorted out. My issues as an action game on a phone, I don't want to play it on an emu, just have PC controls. Yeah, so the developers have actually said, because so many people talked about a PC client, they're actually going to look into it. But I do know that it is very possible to play this with like a gamepad setup. One of the top players on the Chinese server actually plays on an emulator with a game controller. With like no issue at all. Obviously he's like the top player. So it's definitely, you have to get used to it, but it's possible to play the entire game on PC, you know, without using mouse and keyboard. So yeah. Well, what missions did I complete? Oh, cool. I did finish another daily. But yeah, like see here, right? Clear 9 Phantom Pain Cage stages, right? Clear Warzone stages. So it's not even like difficult to get black card gacha currency or anything, which is super nice, because that's always like the biggest issue with mobile games with like PvP and PvE and stuff, is you kind of get screwed. Now let's see, is there any team I really want to run? Not really, no. Maybe I'll just run this guy for some difference. Memory set, we want element tank because we're dark, and you are a healer. Yeah, there's some mechanics from like future versions of the game where it doesn't make it exactly the most friendly to play on PC, but a PC client would be just so good, honestly, because I really want to play this on PC with like my actual setup. Because as much as I can play it like this on my phone, when I see it played on like an emulator or something with like high def graphics and everything, 120 FPS, it's just like, how could I not play it like that if I had the option to? Yeah. But yeah, no, BGR. I recommend this to like literally everyone that's you know, what mobile game should I play? It's just, how can I not recommend the game? Actually, let's do that really quick here. And that should be it. No, boss. Can you use the Google login to sync? You probably can. I don't know. I never played the global version on an emulator. I only have the Taiwanese version on there for costumes and stuff. So I'm probably not the best person to ask about that. And one more map. Yeah, I'll just stay Watanabe. I actually really enjoy his gameplay. It's a lot of fun. Him and Veritas. I prefer Veritas the most. Her and her lightning is just so dope. But, bounce me away. But when it comes down to it, the lightning gameplay is just too good to say no to. Astral, who I'm playing right now, It's crisp, it's clean, lots and lots of damage. It's actually ridiculous how much damage it does. Yeah. He's a funny story, actually. He was supposed to be an S rank frame when he got added to the game, but there was a huge amount of player outcry because they had done back-to-back S ranks, and the devs were like, so they scaled him down to an A rank character instead, but they left him with the S rank stats. So he's effectively like a free S character for everyone that plays this game, which is really nice because it means you get you get the only dark DPS available for free until Fake Ascension, I believe is the name of it, which is when we get Luna. Yeah, I don't get it, man. Like, it's 2021. Any game made after, I think, probably 2018 that doesn't have an account system built into the game, you know, and they rely on bind codes and stuff, that's like archaic. I understand that it can be easier on the developer side to implement something like that, but come on, man. Think of the players. They got better things to do with their time than friggin' deal with that crap. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap up the stream. It's 1:45. I ended up talking for an hour, a lot longer than I thought I would, so I'll wrap up and head out here. I don't have any streaming plans for the next few days. Maybe that'll change though. I don't know. Cross the bridge when we get there. Anyways, thanks for hanging out, guys. Anyone that stayed past the original stream time, nice to just chat it up with all of you. It's been a while since I did this kind of stuff, so maybe I'll make it a normal stream or something. Just hang out, play mobile games, and talk. But yeah. Anyways, see you guys.